What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Boosted Motorsports, and we are going to be working on this Jeep Comanche with the LS swap once again. So we've been plugging away. A lot of parts have showed up from the boys over at Holley, so we've got a lot to get done, and we've got the parts to do it. So some more stuff still showing up, but on the last video we messed with the fuel system, so I'm just waiting for one more fitting to show up so we can complete our fuel system. So we've got the stock OEM hanger, we've got a 450 pump in here, we've got our new tank over there, we've got our radiator with our electric fans, so we picked this up. That's gonna go in there as well. We've got new valve covers with gaskets, a ton of other stuff, but just before we get into that, I have a few things that I want to address. So we still have to mock up and make our transmission mount. So here is where the 4L60 is. Some other guys in the last video were asking, why do we have a four-wheel drive transfer case if we don't have a four-wheel drive front axle? Plan is, time permitting, we are going to be putting a four-wheel drive front axle in there. So no, I'm not going to be switching this all out to two-wheel drive. It's here, it's in here, it fits beautifully actually. And that way, when we have enough time, or if somebody purchases this before we have a chance to mess with it, it's as simple as putting in a four-wheel drive front axle, connecting up a front drive shaft, and you would have four-wheel drive action in this beast. So anyways, that's the reason behind that. But on the last video, our transmission mount was absolutely roasted. So let me show you guys just how bad it was. So this was the transmission mount, just absolutely fried. So we picked up a new one off of Amazon, and it just showed up, so that way we've got something solid to be able to mock off of. And here we go. So here's the transmission mount. I can put this in here, bolt it to our transmission, and kind of get a rough idea of where we want to put this thing. So essentially I'm gonna have to make up a bit of a bracket. So it actually doesn't look too far away, but I gotta get some positioning in there, see what makes sense, see what kind of angles we've got on our drivetrain, and go from there. So let me bolt that up in there, and then see what kind of space here I want to make up. All right, so new mount is in, and I have it sitting on the cross member on these studs. So I'm pretty sure this is the XJ cross member, transmission cross member. It's kind of cool. The factory has, and I just have these barely in here, you guys, because the hoist is kind of getting in my way. But you can actually move from the factory. You can move this transmission cross member to here or to there, it looks like. But this was the one that was on the MJ, and it actually, this is the way it was. I'm pretty sure this is from the MJ because it's super crusty and rusted and swollen here. But you can see here, it's got this dip down here where the transmission mount would go. Whereas this one doesn't have that same dip. So I'm using this because you can see we have to make up a difference. So I've got this in here. It's sitting on the studs right now before I make up a bracket. Other reason why I'm not doing it just yet is, hopefully you guys can see right there, that plate right there, that's where our four-wheel drive manual lever goes, and also our gear selector over there. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's there. I want to put the vehicle back down, put in this four-wheel drive handle, make sure that we have proper clearance because I don't want to shove the transfer case up into it. So I want to make sure that we have good spacing before I kind of finalize a transmission mount. So let's put it back down. Let's put the four-wheel drive handle in there, and also we do have a B&M shifter that we're going to try to retrofit into this as well because it perfectly mates up to the 4L60, so we don't have to try to make our own custom notches on the Jeep shifter. So let's put this down, check out those two items, and see how it goes. Okay, so the boys over at B&M sent us this badass shifter, you guys. So this is going to make our lives a heck of a lot easier. It comes with a shifter cable in this bag. Also comes with a trim. I'm not sure how we're gonna set this up yet, if we're gonna try to integrate this B&M shifter into the factory Jeep stuff. The cool part is it has multiple configurations for whatever transmission you want to use. So depending on which one, it knows all the different throws and stop points and all this stuff. So it has all those in this bag. So like I said, since we're trying to get this done as quickly as possible, it's got everything in here for us. So I'm pretty excited to get that in. We're gonna see how we can get that to fit up as well. So let's get those two shifters in there. I'm gonna start messing with it and see what happens. All right, so we went ahead and routed our B&M shifter cable, and it comes with the bracket. So again, it comes with all different kinds of transmission setups, but this is the 4L60 setup, and then it comes with the new arm here. So not sure which position we're gonna want it in or the adjustment, but at least we got something connected. So let's go up top, get the shifter mounted where we want, and see how this operates. All right, so we've got our shifter here, but now we need to fill this big void. So before I can actually mount the shifter, and this is the one with the automatic, I have another one over here for the manual. But I'm gonna press this down, trace this out of the steel, and then we'll drill the same holes, and then we can mount this right to the vehicle and mount our shifter wherever we want. Okay, so check it out, you guys. So we've got our B&M shifter mounted, and we made that plate. So we've got a complete block off plate. I'm gonna have to paint it, and I'll probably end up putting some riv certs in that, but for now she's secured. So I'll show you guys the action of this thing. So it's a ratchet shifter. It's pretty cool. You basically just bang it through the gears, and then you go up, you pull it up, hit it forward, and then all the way up to park. So the original shifter was really close here. I might still play with the positioning, but the original Jeep one was really close to the dash to begin with. So anyways, we tried to space it out so we can fit our original console in there, but we might actually fit the B&M piece. But at this point, you guys know it's a 30-day build, so we're trying to just motor through everything as far as the center console and trying to make it super fancy inside. We can deal with that later. But our fitting did show up for our fuel pump, and we do want to get this thing started because we still have not started this engine. So over here, I got our return line fitting on here. So we got a return line, we got our feed. Now it's just a matter of flushing out our lines, since I did have to cut these. So I want to flush them out, and then I can put in our pump, and our return line will go to here. I can flush those out, and I can actually put this into the tank, and we can probably try to mount our tank in the truck and get our fuel lines ran. So if we get our fuel lines ran, we've already got a starter. If we put our intake on, we might be able to crank this thing, at least fire it and see. So we're gonna try and do that, because if we can get this thing to fire, that would be a huge leap forward for us. John, what do you think of our new fuel setup?
Dude, look at that. That thing like cement, dude.
Heck yeah, we messed with it. We had to highly modify this, but brand new tank, and we got this in here. We got our 2 fuel connections that are gonna run out of this stock module. And we managed to make it. So we saw a lot of complaints on Amazon reviews of this that you weren't able to get it out. But check this out, boys. Yeah.
And we couldn't. We really couldn't.
No. We still got to put the hose on it, but we had to modify it so that you could actually get all this in here. Look at that. Sheesh.
Show them what we did.
So if you're curious, what we had to do was we rotated the pump so that it was closer there. So
this on this mount right here.
Yeah, that bracket, we bent it. And then this here was straight up and down there, and we bent it sideways like that so that we can get that thing in there. So that's pretty much situated. Let's we're gonna get our hose on here so that it connects the pump to our line, put the clamps on there, flush all this out, and then we can install this in here. We gotta figure out, we still gotta grab those 2 vent thingies. Yeah. Hopefully we can get them out of the crusty old tank and clean them up. There's a port there and another port right here. So we'll try to transfer those over right now and pray that we don't have to try to source those out, but that's what we're gonna try to do right now. All right, boys, so this thing is ready to install in the tank. Me and John went ahead and got this corrugated hose on here. So got that all on here. Our clamps are on, our sock is on. We got all sorts of stuff ready to go in. So he's got the O-ring with the thing, locking ring.
This came with the fuel pump.
Yeah, so we got 2 sets of them. The fuel pump came with one, and then the tank came with one. So we're gonna try and use the one that's less cheap looking, or whatever one fits better.
And if one leaks, we'll replace it.
Exactly, we got backup. So let's get this in here, and we might have a fuel pump.
Oh, scratch the tank.
Damn, my new tank, John. My new tank. Almost there. That thing is so freaking.
It's so awesome.
I mean, it'll definitely hold though. I think it's fine. Sweet. All right.
Colorful.
Let's put this tank up in there. Oh man, I didn't even realize. I should have got scratch and dent sale. Oh man, look at this. Look at this. Who's man's? Okay. John, what you seeing?
Nothing. Missing a gas tank.
Hanging around. So, gas tank goes right there. That is our taillight harness. We didn't really find. Oh, I guess we can pull this fancy fuel line out. Oh.
That's a lot more.
Ooh. Did we disconnected it, right? What is happening? Oh, there's that stupid steel line on there. Or we can always disconnect it from here and shove it up if you want. Or just cut it, who cares? Yeah, we gotta get rid of this so we can get our tank in here.
Is there gonna be gas in here?
Let there be gas. Does it come up? Ooh.
What was that?
Just shove it up. It's the metal hard line that connects to the XJ tank. So if you guys are wondering what is going on, I believe the previous owner allegedly started it.
Allegedly.
With the XJ tank and the factory lines. So this is the factory fuel filter, which we aren't going to use, by the way, but it's here right now. So there's our two things. It's got this pretty unique, like a skid plate for the tank. That's the XJ tank, by the way. So our tank over there has that little skid plate doohickey thing, and that's what straps it up. So old tank out, the straps are in really good shape and all that, and then we're gonna prop this up, hook it, and send it. All right, so our tank is in, boys. Check out that unit. So probably the shiniest thing underneath here, but came out really good. We got our two fuel lines here. Everything's gonna work out beautifully, so we can come through here, run down over here. I'm thinking we're probably gonna run up over near where the transfer case is, over the top here, because there's not really much happening over here since it's gonna be turbo and stuff. You know, there's not gonna be any exhaust over here. If we run it up the back side of the transfer case, we're not gonna worry about the front drive shafts, all that stuff. So I'm thinking we cross over there, go up on top of the transmission tunnel, all that good stuff, and then we'll end up right where we need to be. So anyways, now we can pretty much make up our fuel lines. We've got our red wire right here. This is going to be for our fuel pump. So that's a fuel pump. I'll run one more through for our ground wire and put it to chassis. And then the third wire is for our fuel level sense. So 3 wires right there. Make a little plug, pigtail, and we'll be on our way. All right, so we started making up the hoses and we started making a big mess, but we quickly realized that we probably should pick up one more straight fitting. So I think it's gonna look a little bit, what do you think, John? It's gonna look a little weird. If you look under here, it's a little dark, but off here, putting a 90 on here, I don't think it looks right. So unfortunately, I only have one straight fitting from the dash 8 feed. So the dash 6, I need to get a dash 6 straight so that we can come through here, tuck them down through here, and then head over that way. So that way because otherwise I start putting too much over here. I don't think, actually, you know what? Me and John were talking about this. It looks like it might get close to the drive shaft. If we keep it above this hump, there's no way it could ever, you know? So if we keep the lines here and there, like it's gonna hit the cab before the drive shaft ever came into our lines. So that is that. And then just before we wrap up this video, me and John are working on some stuff up top. So we're gonna bring it down and I'll show you guys what we did up there. All right, so check this out, you guys. So we're gonna replace and redo this one. We'll probably make it longer and go underneath, but for now, it's there. We mounted our fuel pressure regulator. We mounted our fuel pressure regulator, and John really likes this bracket. We made it custom because,
dude, it had 2 brackets before and some epoxy on it for no reason.
You want to show him the old bracket? John was getting quite the kick out of this bracket.
That thing right there was mounted onto this with some epoxy on it to hold the screws in, right?
Yeah, it had tiny little sheet metal screws with epoxy.
But it was also using the bracket on there to mount on here to mount onto the firewall.
Yeah, it was double bracketing.
bracket.
We ended up mounting it nice and secure, solid to this seam here. So it came out really good. And we're gonna have a return style system. All of our stuff is mapped in. We don't have anything secured. We're just kind of laying things down. So we're gonna have a dash 8 come into the rail, go through the rail, come across here, and then it's gonna leave on a dash 6, go into our fuel pressure regulator. And then I don't know if you guys can see that 90 right there. So we got the Mr. Gasket 90, comes out the bottom, and this is gonna return back to the tank. So we just wanted to get that mapped out. That way we knew how long we need to make the lines tomorrow. And you can see right here, we've got, I don't know if you guys can see it because everything is matching so well with all black fittings, but we've got a dash 8 90, and that's where our fuel feed's gonna come in. So Everything fits beautifully. We got our pressure gauge. We're probably gonna have to clock this a little bit just so it's straight, but that's pretty much it. So also, I think it was John did this little battery thing, right? Dennis brought by this little battery tray. We kind of have to.
We have to make a hole.
We got to dial it in, but we've got. Oh, maybe we did.
Oh, you loosened it
I
up.
think I messed it up, but
here we're back.
we got a little battery tie down here as well, and we still haven't even put in our radiator. So that's another thing we can just quickly slip in. But so we got a lot done in this video. We got our B&M ratchet shifter in there. We've also got our fuel lines, our fuel pump, our fuel tank. So that was one day's work, and I want to try to keep this on a daily update for you guys. The last video got really long because I combined a couple days of work, but sometimes I'm filming and I don't realize how much content we actually have, and I feel like we need to record more, and then it ends up being a 20-something minute video. So, but we're going to continue to tell you we will be at LS Fest. We're going to be at LS Fest this year and also Mo Party.
Right.
So we'll be at both. We're going to be there with a booth. We're going to be selling merch. We're going to have shirts, stickers, key tags, all kinds of stuff. So definitely put that on your calendar. Come out. We're going to have all the builds there, which is kind of crazy. We're going to have all 4 vehicles there.
We're going to have some used parts that are hard to get as well, too.
Yeah, so I'll be bringing some, because I got to start liquidating some of the stuff. We're going to have throttle bodies there, some of the HID kits that we offer, a bunch of stuff. So if you're there, definitely come by, hang out. Plus, also my buddy mentions, I keep forgetting to tell you guys, if you want to come hang out, we're going to be stuck at the booth all weekend pretty much. So if you want to come out, ask us any questions on the builds. This is your opportunity to pretty much, you're going to hold me hostage. I'm at the booth, so I can chop it up, hang out, chat with you guys on all that stuff, and kind of answer some questions on your guys' builds too. So come out if you can. We'll be there. It's coming up fast, boys. I think we have, what, 2-3 weeks?
3 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, so making this video, we got about 3 more weeks to get this done, and trying my best to not make it pretty, I promise.
He's not trying at all. He's trying to make it look real nice.
I painted the engine bay, like...
He's trying to make it look too nice.
I'm trying to make a 30-day build, but trying to make it nice at the same time, but we're on our way. So plan is tomorrow we're going to start this thing, right?
I hope so.
That's the plan. We're going to try and start it. We're still waiting for the turbo kit to arrive, but we're going to just open header, send it, and yeah, next video, hopefully we're starting it. So thanks for watching. Thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. See you on the next one.